What's up, guys? I'm Zack Landry, and I am a sound. What makes my music different from other artists, in my opinion, I think it's my passion. My style is very, I would say, much of a gumbo, of a soup type of situation. It's different. It's not just gospel music. It's not just Christian music. It's more of different influences from different artists, and I can name a few, I'll say Jill Scott, Michael Jackson, so forth. If you have to name any few gospel artists, it would probably be, I would say maybe Marvin Sapp. I would say maybe a little bit of James Fortune. I can even go back in the day and say Hezekiah Walker was probably one of my favorites when it came to music. And I kind of put those things in style, get ideas from those, and that's what makes my music. I think my passion is really like 100% full of what makes my music different from any other artist. My most inspirational person would have to be Michael Jackson of all time. I mean, hands down, just because his work ethic, the way he really put his effort and his soul into his music and his passion, regardless if it was pop, regardless if it was R&B, regardless if it was soul. Michael Jackson you can tell he worked hard. Even from the This Is It video, that was the last video he did before he passed away. And you can see the passion. Michael Jackson would get on stage and dance with he would practice with his outfits on. Like he's actually already at a show full of people in the arena. He would have to be my most inspirational. He's one of my favorite people in the world when it comes down to music. I mean, there would never be another Michael Jackson, hands down. His music is always going to touch lives. His videos, to his dance moves, to his singing, to all of that, everything that he put into it. If you really listen in depth to Michael Jackson, you can really listen not just to the music part, but just you can see how passionate he is when it comes to that music, period. So Michael Jackson has to be the most inspirational person in my life as far as when it comes to the music scene. So I don't have a particular targeted audience. Everybody in the industry, they always ask you, who's your targeted audience, or who are you aiming to? I feel that that's a selfish type of question, because why should I target one side when if our goal is to try to save souls and reach people in the world, it should never be just one side of an audience to reach. It should be everybody. Whether they're in the bar room, whether they're in the club, whether they're in the streets, whether they're in the alleys, whether they're in the park, Walmart, Target, it doesn't matter. Anybody and everybody's an audience of mine. So I don't think, regardless of what song I put out at that particular time, I think if the message can go through well and it can reach, I think it can relate to anybody. And it's all about your presentation. If your presentation is not right, of course you're not going to reach everybody, and you're not going to be able to please everybody. But I feel like that should never be a one-sided audience. To me, that's kind of selfish. So I don't have a particular targeted audience whatsoever. So my mother has to be the only person in the world that has inspired me with music. And the reason is because I happen to had to be about 8, 9, maybe 10 years old. And the first song I did in church was Art of My Steps. I never forget that. And she made me practice that song every day of the week. From when I got out of school, during the time, on the weekends. We was getting ready for this youth program. I think this happened to be in like 94, 95. She made me go over this song much. And you've never heard of a male sing Art of My Steps, right? It's always been a woman to lead the song. And I never forget when I started taking music lessons, Brian Lewis was my music teacher at the time, and we took lessons for like 2 months. And my mother said, "Okay, look, you're just gonna learn on your own." So she borrowed a keyboard and sat in the room and said, "Look, you're just gonna have to teach yourself. You're gonna have to watch. You're gonna have to listen to other people, and you're gonna have to learn how to play on your own because I can't afford lessons right now." That's just what it's like. So she has to be the person that really encouraged me, inspired me, beat me upside the head when I mess up on notes, all these types of things. Man, my mother has always been there musically, has always inspired me to work hard when it came to singing and when it came to playing, and never to show off when I'm when I'm in musical settings. Watch my face expressions and all those types of things. So my mother happened to be the best person. I love her for that so much to this day. She is the reason why I'm doing what I'm doing today. So my mission is to let's do both sides. I'll say the gospel side, the Christian side first. Right now, CCM is like the major subject of when it comes to gospel and Christian music. I'm kind of biased with that because CCM is not the only genre of gospel Christian music. Music, first of all, if you understand the definition of music, is the universal language. So if it's universal, it shouldn't have to be, even though it's broken into different genres, I feel like music is music, period. It's the lyrics, to me, in my mind, which really makes the music. It's not really the music. You can play an R. Kelly song or a Chris Brown song, and you can take Christian words to it and make it, as long as the people can relate to it. It's all about positive energy out of music. That's what music is. Music is a mind manipulator. So I feel like the music that I put out, regardless of the message in that particular song, I feel like my mission should be able to let people know, say, hey, you can still listen to a Christian song and feel good about it, feel good about yourself. It's not always about feeling depressed and crying. God doesn't want us crying to him all the time. He wants us to praise him. He wants us to feel good. He wants us to smile. He wants us to be positive. That's what it's all about. So I feel like CCM is not the only genre. I feel like there's so many other genres of music. And that's the type of person I am. So my mission is to let people know that there are still some good gospel music out there. It's not always about, a slow worship song. And nothing against anybody that does those things. But I feel like music, period, is supposed to feel good. When you bump your music in the car, we play music in the car, we play music in the stores in our earbuds, we play music when we're in the bathroom, we play music everywhere. So why not have that, whether it's worship or praise, why not let it be still a good positive energy coming from that, not where I have to feel like I'm beating against the wall and I'm feeling convicted all the time. That should never be like that at all. And that's why the secular side is so much popular, because it's not really the lyrics per se, but it's the music. It's the music, the beat. You always hear somebody say, I don't listen to rap music, but I listen to the beat. I love the beat of the music. The beat makes me feel good. So that's my mission, to get people to understand that, there are still some good music out there if you just put your passion into it. Not be afraid to do you and not have to fall and be able to fall behind other artists that are doing the CCM stuff. If that makes sense. So that's my mission. Okay, so I don't know how to answer that without being deep. How is my music minister to me? I would say I listen to the stuff that I write. I listen to the stuff that I've recorded and have not released yet. I listen to that stuff all the time to kind of give me an encouragement or motivation in my mind, because sometimes you can call people, you can ask what they think about this or how blah blah blah, but it's all about what you think at the end of the day. And so I would say that ministers to me like that. It keeps me motivated. It keeps me on the road to working towards the music and not giving up on doing what I'm doing as of now, being an artist, being a musician, because this industry gets very cutthroat. Anybody knows anything about this industry is very cutthroat, and you have to be able to work through the thin lines with having thick skin. Gotta have thick skin. period, no matter what, because it can cause a self-depression in minutes. And so I listen to my music all the time. I listen to other artists, but I mainly listen to me, so that way I can continue to identify who I am, if I could say that. So my most challenging obstacle has to be being an independent artist. And I think every independent artist out there, whether it's secular, whether it's Christian, can agree and attest to that. It's very challenging because you're not signed with a label, so you have to do most of the meat work by yourself. Especially if you're not being managed by someone, or even if you have a manager, it's still a lot of red tape you have to go through, getting the promoting and the marketing, and it takes money. And people, some people don't understand it. It takes money to be successful. It takes money to get to where you want to be. If you want presentation to be top notch, if I could say that. So that's really been my most challenging obstacle, being an independent artist, having to put all of this stuff, and even with my manager, with two management, we work together very well. Like every day we're on the phone talking about different things, launching websites, promoting all that, and it causes you to be very impatient, and it causes you to stress, it causes you to be frustrated a lot, but it's worth it at the end of the day. So that happened to be my most challenging obstacle in the world, being an independent artist. Okay, so my most, man, I got so many funny moments. I have plenty. I have one. I was living in Dallas at the time, and that's when I started the group. At the time, I started a group called Phase, and we was invited to sing at this church. And man, this church was hot. Oh my gosh! By the time we finished singing, we only did two songs. I was sweating all the way down to probably my knees, man. It was hot. Everybody was leaving out there. It was a hot box in the church. The air didn't work. I think it went out or something that day. It was funny. It was very frustrating, but it was funny at the end of the day. There's so many moments. I done messed up my own words, singing one time my own songs. And if any singer can attest to that, when you mess up, you kind of improvise. You do stuff like lift your hands, or just talk to God for a moment, or let the musicians play, because you didn't have a brain for it, and you didn't forgot your own words, or you forgot where you are in the music. So I would probably say I haven't had any moments where I done fell down or anything of that nature. That's never happened. So I would say maybe messing up my own words probably be one of the funniest moments in my life. All right, so I'm very simple. You can follow me, the Zack Landry. That's the THE, Zack as in Zach Morris, Landry as in Tom Landry. No, I'm not related to Tom Landry. So the Zack Landry. That's Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, you name it. I'm on all of them. And you can always follow me on my website as well. iamasound.com. Again, that's iamasound.com, and that's the Zack Landry. Mic check 1 2 2. Mic check 1 2 2. That's what it was. Can you start over? Okay, my bad. Being an independent artist, that's the opposite. That's where I was going with that.